right, Joel. So I did get the opportunity to actually go back and watch Tales of the Empire. I think we're probably on the same boat on this one.
Yeah.
I have I feel a disturbance in the force.
Mm.
3 episodes were really boring, and 3 episodes were okay interesting. Like
Mm.
this is a solid like 6.
Yeah.
Like honestly,
Yeah.
versus like the Tales of the Jedi
Oh,
was like a 9. It was real good. Um, Kind of disappointed that they only focused on 2 characters, and there's like like big inconsistencies, timeline wise and all that. So those first 3 episodes that were focused on Morgan Elsbeth, the first half of that first episode was real good, and then it just was just a slog. It was just not interesting. It was just not interesting, and it's a shame, right? Because we're big proponents of Dave Filoni and the Clone Wars and all that. So kind of disappointing. It just didn't click. Maybe she
yeah.
wasn't the right character. Maybe you could have done one episode on her, right? Um, Kind of like mixing the second and the third episodes. You could have mixed them up together and giving us just one episode, and do something else with other characters. I feel like that should have been better. Um, I just don't. They just didn't hit for me, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Unfortunately.
I agree with you. I think it's the choice of characters just overall that is what kind of didn't make it as great and powerful as maybe the other ones are. Because literally, like you said it, in Tales of the Jedi was really good. I believe it was only 2 characters that were the main highlights because if I remember right, I think it was just Dooku and Ahsoka. I don't remember in between any other being the
Right.
main storylines that you're following. Other main characters show up,
Right, but there's other characters that show up,
right?
and there's
But
like they do play a significant role
no,
in
no, for
in
sure.
yeah, right,
For sure. But
like
my point is like
Yaddle and
just
all
on
that,
the
right,
pillars on the back of
right,
Count Dooku and on the back of Ahsoka, of
right,
course it's gonna be like those are
yeah,
strong characters
totally,
like you do there. You're trying to build an empire show on Morgan Elsbeth, a fairly new character, and a fairly newer character in Barriss Offsea, but not new, but we've not seen a
right,
lot of her, I should say. Um, Interesting choices, but there's so many amazing characters in the Empire to have chosen from that it does kind of does kind of make you scratch your head.
dude.
And
Like,
anyone who defends the
yeah,
show, Obed, like, and I'm not saying I'm against the show. I actually still found it to be quite entertaining, to be honest with you. But even I have to admit, with the way I enjoyed it, it's kind of forgettable. I think there's a lot of people who would watch it, and there's maybe specific moments, which is like anything. But for a guy that really loves Star Wars, it was one of the more forgettable ones where Tales of
right,
the Jedi I didn't I wanted to go back and rewatch it. I did end up rewatching a couple of them, but like it's very vivid, stuck in your mind because of the emotions and the beats that are hitting.
right,
Yeah, I mean, there's questions that I have about this one, but still,
yeah. I just don't think that the choice of characters were great. Also, the way that the Tales of the Jedi told this story, mixing it up in between episodes, was
hmm
better than this one. It just
hmm
didn't
I
hit.
agree.
I think the Barris Offie thing was great. I think the following her and and she becoming an inquisitor, but not because she really hated the Jedi, right? But because she was like, well, I mean, at least they're letting me live, right? So might as well join them. Um, that was interesting. That was pretty good. I think those first 2 episodes were really good, but then I do have there's glaring problems with that third episode. Um, because why is she older than Lynn? Why is she older than Lynn in that episode? Why is
The
Ben?
dark side is a path to many abilities some
No.
might consider to be unnatural.
Mm,
That's my only. I don't even.
oh
I
my,
can't defend it more than that. Like that's literally the only answer I can give. But it doesn't
bro.
make sense. Why does she look the same? And then this
Right.
lady's like, I'm in the
It was like
force
10
on the
years
light
later,
side, and it
Barris
looks
is
like
in her, like her 20s, and she looks like in her 50s.
yeah,
It's nuts, right?
yeah,
So like that to me does, and then the lady looks the same. Lynn looked the
right.
same, so that didn't make sense to me. Um, her dying was kind of like a letdown too. It was like, okay, maybe we'll see her. Oh no! So there's like no build up with those first three episodes, and then a letdown of an ending on
Mm.
the Varys Offie thing. I just don't think it was good, man. It's like you know, it's a 6. I haven't watched any like reviews or anything on it.
Yeah, me either.
I did see that Theory put out a video, and he's like, "Oh, I'm angry." I was like, "Oh, dang it!" It's like, wonder what they did. I was like, "Oh yeah, just, they made it not good." So
Yeah.
they had a really good opportunity, man, to give us some really good stories, and they didn't. So very disappointed. Unlike X-Men '97.
Ooh.
Um, Big spoiler banner again, guys. If you go watch this show, please, don't, please do. Not saying that because I'm wearing a Marvel shirt, right? Um, like straight up, this is probably like if you were on the fence about recent Marvel stuff, um, the this show will ease your troubles. This is very very good. I you know 9.5 could have been a 10, could have been a 10. 9.5. There's no like big issues with it
Hmm. Hmm.
really. Not from a character or a a storytelling sense. Um, like it's as close as perfect as you can get, in my opinion. It's absolutely fantastic. This episode was crazy. I think I saw some people complaining about this episode being. I was like, oh, but the other, like the previous episode was better. Like I didn't like this was the worst episode. I was like, no, the Mojo
What?
episode was the worst. Like everyone was like, no, the Mojo one. So it was like we were all in agreement. Um, I think it's that the people want it a lot more, and I think that they did enough. They did
They went
plenty.
crazy.
They
Are you
did
kidding
plenty.
me?
Right.
What more do you want?
Right. Right. Um, yeah, man, the whole Xavier Magneto struggle was really good. Man, this show's sweaty, and I love it. I love it. This is like not for the not for the. It's good enough for the casuals, right? But for the ones that are in the know, that were back, like, for us that fought the fight back in the day, right?
Mm.
And new fans, right?
Yeah. Mm.
Of the OG X Men show and the comics, dude, this is just like insane with the callbacks and not only the callbacks but the Easter eggs and um, man, it's just like so good, so freaking good. Yeah, I told Phoenix, yeah, we called it. Like Phoenix is gonna be back because that's the only way that they can get around, Bastion. So yeah, Phoenix came back for a bit just to get him out of a pickle, basically. Um, and then Bastion tried to hurl Astrodam to Earth, and yeah, then we get to see, I guess, half of the Avengers. So yeah, um, no, very good. Like overall, very very good. I'm glad that they didn't they completely incapacitated Logan, which is now interesting based on the ending. We didn't see Logan. Where is he? Where he end up at? Right.
Right.
It could be like part of those pieces that, hey, like if you know, you know, right? I don't want to spoil it, right?
I know. I
Because
know.
if you know, you know, right? What
Yeah.
happens to the adamantium and how he gets it back, right? So I don't want to spoil it, but it does tie very tight to the overall ending and the mid credit for the show. So,
Yeah.
um, absolutely fantastic. I'm very much looking forward to the next seasons. you
Right, right,
know.
right, right,
and
right.
and and if they tie it up with the movie, it's like, dude, when they went crazy at the end, right? And it's like, oh, when it's not a matter of where but when. It's like, oh, dang, 2026 or whatever the time is at Marvel. That way, maybe Logan's with Deadpool. Who knows, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, right. So we don't, because we don't know. We don't know. We didn't see him at the end. We don't know what happened with him. Um, we didn't see. Do we? Oh yeah, that's right. Sunspot and Jubilee went down back to Earth, so they stayed behind. But Jean and Scott went to the future. Uh, Rogue, Beast, Magneto, Nightcrawler went back to Egypt, uh, and met and Summoner. So good stuff, bro. This is phenomenal. I'll take it because you're gonna. I know that you got. I know you have tons to talk about.
Oh my goodness. I instantly had to fire off messages to people. I didn't shoot you with one because I wanted to wait for this for we although I knew we have kindred spirits when it comes to Marvel. We know. Like look, this is one of the best things I have seen for Marvel in years. I want to digest it more. I'm going to watch this a second time very soon, like within the next 24 to 48 hours. I'm going to be watching
Binge
this
it.
finale again because I need
Oh,
to.
I watched it. I watched it twice.
Oh, dude, it is.
Twice.
I I have not
Yeah.
felt that excited and that satisfied about an ending of a show in a long time. I've been happy and enjoyed, but there's always that sense of could have done this better, should have done that, whatever. That was
Right.
not the feeling I had for this. Like I think I don't know if I've said it on the show before, but the only complaint, this is not a complaint necessarily that the show did something wrong. It's a preference thing. So I wanted to clarify that. This is just a Joel thing, not necessarily X-Men's wrong for this kind of thing. But like when I look at the show as a whole, sometimes for me, the relationship stuff maybe took a little bit too much precedence than I would have liked it to have been, but it never overtook the show. Like it didn't. Oh,
Right.
because I've seen things before where they take things like this and it's almost hijacks the show. Where like they could have done like the Scott and Jean stuff. Like it could have gone very differently, and they reeled it in right where it could have gone a little too off the wall. The same thing with Professor Xavier and like his like marriage thing. Like that could have gone very very differently. And even the Rogue and Magneto thing like could have gone very differently, and Gambit and whatever, right? And the whole love triangle, whatever. Some of that stuff, that's just a Joel Young preference thing that sometimes I was like, man, everybody's in a relationship. Like, I just want to see them. I just want to see what's going to happen next week. But that's just the main thing. Overall with the show, I think um, they hit off on all the beats. They did things that I didn't expect. I kept saying to people that I was watching with, of like, hey, if they have Apocalypse, that would probably be the next thing to do. That would probably be the next story to go to. Yes, they did have Apocalypse before in the original animated
Right.
thing. They also had the Dark Phoenix thing a little bit. There's hints of all of that. Like
Right.
they come straight up are telling you, we're going back to these things that you saw before, but we're doing it with, the new flavor that we have kind
Yeah.
of with this revitalization or revelation of the show.
More
So
accurate to the comics and more
correct.
callbacks to the comics too. So
Correct. I'm okay with you repeating storylines if you're gonna get it in a way that's really really beautiful because of the technology behind it, the art behind it, the deeper understanding of the lore and what have you. Just if it's good, it's good. Um, and Subhan Nur, I'm glad that is gonna be the main villain of the next season. Time travel. You have the Bishop thing. Did you catch the whole thing of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch
yeah, they were in the boat. They
going
were they were in the boat, but then on the wall they were off world.
off world?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Did you also hear that supposedly the creators did ask, can they put Deadpool in it? And they said no for that finale. So that's what gives me a hesitation is sometimes you would say no because, hey, we're
Right.
gonna try and tie it in some live action thing. Or is it no because they didn't want to tie it into the live action and let live its own? I don't feel an absolute that it's connected to the live action stuff personally. I think people might be disappointed if they have too much of an expectation of it. I
Right.
don't want people to get that. I've been there as a fan, but I wouldn't count it out. Like there's definitely a real possibility because as I've been telling you, not to make this a Deadpool conversation, but like I think Deadpool's gonna get the multiverse better than Doctor Strange did,
Oh, totally.
better the Flash and these other things.
But I'm Flash. Joe. I mean,
I
every time
know.
you say that, I just remember the awful CG and the
Yeah.
Speed Force thing. Yeah, man. All the cameos in this episode were great.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's like cameos sprinkled around. Really good lines here and there. Did you catch the Sue Storm cameo?
I did.
Yeah, she
I
was
did,
she
dude.
was she
She
was
was
there.
straight up there.
She was there. You just didn't see her. Ow! He didn't care. I got you, bro. I got you.
I don't know why I thought you were saying Mary Jane when you said Sue Storm.
Oh, Mary
I
Jane.
don't know why. That was awesome.
It
Peter
was-
and MJ watching
and
the
then- and
TV.
Flash Thompson going like this on the back. That was really good. That was real good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, no, man, so good. This show. I'm very much looking forward to what's next, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be straight up with you. Like, I would love them. I would love for them to revisit X-Men with a fresh look, right? Movie wise. But if we don't get it, like this is like just keep giving us
They're
this.
gonna do
right?
mutants. They're definitely gonna do
They
mutants.
gotta, yeah.
But I'm glad they're taking their time because this is setting such a high precedence
It's
that
cooking,
the bar
right?
has
It's
been raised.
yeah, it's
And
the slow
I like
cooker.
that. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, yeah. Good stuff, man.